Okay, so I want to just do a brief examination of news reporting, looking at news stories. Just think about this for a moment. Have you ever been involved yourself personally in a news story and you read the story or you hear the story on the radio and there's a lot of things wrong? Has that ever happened? I think it's happened to me once, and I know other people um, where you read the story, you hear what they're saying about what happened, and you were involved maybe deeply or just on the side, and you just know, hey, the context is a little bit off. There's that one little fact. Just no, 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 no. He didn't climb the tree. Um, he he ran. He was trying to get away from the lion, and he climbed the tree. They left that part out. And he didn't know that the lions can also climb trees. So that story didn't end very well. That's just a hypothetical example. I'm looking at the story of Gwede Mantashe. Now, Gwede Mantashe, and I think it's also Gwede Mantashe's fault. He is the minister of minerals and energy, right? Minerals, energy. Big portfolio, hey? Eskom, electricity, load, yo. He's got a lot on his plate. Now, he has been painted with this image that he just loves coal. Gwede Mantashe loves coal. And he was even quoted as saying that climate change is an interesting theory, or climate change is a theory. So, like insinuating that climate change isn't really a thing. So, the whole the narrative is that Gwede Mantashe, he's into coal. He doesn't want to look at ending our energy reliance on coal. We are coal. We are a coal country. We're going to stay with coal. But I'm not so 100% sure, convinced that that is the situation. Have we actually heard Gwede Mantashe be like, really, like, has it been crystal clear? Or has the media drawn those conclusions? Yes, don't get me wrong. He could very well be big into coal. He might love his coal. But do we know that definitely for 100%? This is what I'm getting at. Gwede Mantashe does not communicate very well. He is the worst communicator. One of the worst communicators I've ever heard. He speaks so badly. He speaks like he's got somebody's cock. He's got somebody's cock in his mouth. And have you ever tried to talk while you've got somebody's cock in your mouth? I mean, I've never experienced it myself. But I'm sure you can think about it. Next time you've got somebody's cock in your mouth, just try and talk. Have you ever tried that? That's what Gwede Mantashe sounds like. Or he's taken a bunch of marbles. You know, the kids play with marbles? And he stuffs his mouth full of marbles and then he tries to talk. I've heard Gwede Mantashe speak many times. I can't make out what he's saying. So how do we even know? Do we know for definite that he loves coal? Do we really does he really love coal? I'm not 100% convinced, because as I alluded to at the beginning, that theory that if you've ever been involved in a story yourself, there's something wrong in that story. And unfortunately, journalism lately in South Africa has not looked good. I mean, it's embarrassing. You know, remember those 10 babies that were allegedly born? You know, Baba Masters. So then I heard another story this morning. It was an ENCA video on social media. The story was that healthcare workers in South Africa are concerned. They're worried that they're going to be used as guinea pigs, because they're going to get the J&J, the Johnson & Johnson booster soon for COVID-19. They feel they are guinea pigs and they're worried. And then they interviewed the Deputy Minister of Health. And then he reassured, no, they're doing this all over the world. Healthcare workers all over the world have had this J&J boost, and it's not a problem. Increases the immunity, increases the protection against COVID-19 symptoms. Just think about it logically. I don't believe the story. I can't believe that we have healthcare workers that are worried about getting the Johnson & Johnson booster, that it's a problem. I don't believe it. I think one or two idiots, maybe some union, maybe some morons, like came up with this thing and sent out a press release. I don't believe that doctors and nurses in South Africa are that ignorant. They had the J&J vaccine back in January, February. It's proved very effective. Everyone who's had the vaccination have not been seriously ill from COVID-19. So again, that's another story that I just don't believe. And that's where we are at the moment. That's why disinformation is even worse than what it would ordinarily be. Because just our ordinary, so-called mainstream, just traditional mainstream, ordinary news, like from your Reuters, from IOL. I mean, IOL, they're the ones that did the deck couplet story, in inverted commas. Story in BBC, CNN. When you look at these stories, you've got to actually keep your mind open and just open to interpretation. Like, you can't just take anything on face value. Yes, I don't believe that that's where we are. And then on a much smaller microcosm type of story, but it's the same thing. Remember the 15-year-old girl, Malala Yousafzai, who was shot in the head in Pakistan by the Taliban. And then she survived, and then because she was going to school. And since then, she's been a staunch campaigner for educating young girls and women. And she won the Nobel Peace Prize. Nobel Peace Prize last year. Well, she got married. I mean, it's big surprise. Didn't even know she had a boyfriend. Didn't even know she was seeing somebody. And in the past, she has scoffed at getting married. She said, "I need marriage like I need a hole in my head. I need to get married." See, she had a sense of humor. You see, she can make jokes like that because she has been shot in the head. If somebody else makes jokes like that, it's like, it's like only Jews can do certain Jewish jokes. It's the same principle. So, she got married. She got married to a man by the name of Asr Malik. And it turns out now, she got married in Britain, in England. She lives in England. They got married in England. Where exactly? Birmingham, I thought I saw. No, they just said at her home in the United Kingdom. Just out of interest, if you don't know these things, the Islamic marriage ceremony is known as the nikah. Nikkah. Never knew that. Nikah, chuppah. She's 24 years old now, hey? So it's 9 years ago that she was shot. Now her husband is the general manager of the Pakistan Cricket Board's High Performance Centre. So I know the story is just about her getting married, but how about a bit of context? How about take the story a bit further, in my opinion? If her husband, Asr Malik, is the general manager of the Pakistan Cricket Board's High Performance Centre, surely he's got to be based in Pakistan. Now, she lives in the United Kingdom. So it seems obvious that if you're doing a story on them getting married, I don't know, maybe I'm being overcritical. Maybe I'm overcritical. Where are they going to live? Is she going back to Pakistan? Don't know. Let me have a sip of tea while we think about that. I had to. I had to. I made a full cup of tea, and by the time this all ends, the tea will be cold. Sorry. So that's not exactly the same as I was saying about inaccurate information, but that's a case of give me the full story. That's not, I'm left hanging. I'm left hanging. But you know what? You know what? I probably am being a bit overcritical, I suppose. Something a little bit personal, and I won't spend too much time on it because, again, maybe it's too media-centric or broadcasting-centric and it's not relevant to you. But I've been seeing the traffic reporter on ENCA. And the way they do their traffic reports on the TV, and I want that job. I want that job. I can do a much better job. How do you get a job to do that? I think I'll go to the ENCA website and maybe do an application. I was a traffic reporter on radio before. Yeah, here's the thing. This is why I think if you're going to do a traffic report, you've got to paint a picture, man. Tell me a story. There's no point telling me there's an accident on the M1 South at Grayston Drive. No point. No point. An accident on the M1 South at Grayston Drive as you move from the Buccleuch interchange, coming through Midrand towards Sandton on your way towards the Johannesburg city centre. A story. Tell me a story, man. Hey, is that so bad? Is that so bad? Broken down truck. In Cape Town, broken down truck on the M3 near Borchard's Quarry. On your way from the airport behind you as you make your way towards town. There you go. Broken down truck on the M3 on the M3 West or M3 East at Borchard's Quarry. Oh. And don't tell me traffic's slow. Traffic's slow. Obviously traffic's slow. Redundant language, man. Redundant language. Causing problems. Slowing you down. Yeah, of course it's slowing you down. Of course it's causing problems. Just tell me the problem, the obstruction, and it's affecting you from this area towards that area or towards that landmark. Simple as that. Okay, I know. I've lost you. Totally lost you. I shouldn't have done that. And I should seriously consider editing that out. I suppose so. You know what's a great example of marketing? Have you noticed? Sometimes you'll come across a movie that you discover it on Netflix or somewhere, and you hadn't seen the movie, you hadn't heard of it, because the marketing was cuck. How is the House of Gucci? They're doing a great job. They're not shoving the movie down my throat. They're not doing a hard sell. But if you just somebody who's been on Facebook, Twitter a little bit, you know about this movie. It's brilliant. House of Gucci. The trailer has been there on Facebook. I saw a news clip, a Reuters news clip. They just did a red carpet with Lady Gaga. I'm excited about this movie, isn't it? I'm excited about this movie, House of Gucci. And it might be a cuck movie. But what a cast. It's got Al Pacino as well. Jared Leto. And that other guy who played, I don't remember his name now. He was in the Star Wars movies. Then he was in Black Klansman. Adam Driver. Very excited. I recommend it. Can I give you another example of for example, poor marketing? Did you even know that there is going to be a relaunch, a new season, kind of like a sequel to Derek. Derek, remember that serial killer series? It went on for about 7 seasons. In the end, the main character, Derek, disappeared, but he didn't die. Did you even know that there's going to be there's a new series starting pretty soon? I think it's going to be on HBO or Showmax. See, I don't even know. Proving my point. I don't even know where it's going to be on. House of Gucci, I know it's going to be in theaters. And after the theaters, hopefully it'll be back. Hopefully it'll be back. Oh, I wanted to just mention something before I end this. I wanted to just mention something that just sometimes I make mistakes. I make mistakes often. So there's somebody who writes, he comments often on the YouTube, and he calls himself Andre DP. And I asked him what does the DP stand for, and I thought it was going to be something funny or pornographic, like deep penetration. It's Andre, what? Divine Providence. Look, the guy has got psychiatric problems. He's acknowledged that he is on psychiatric medication. He wrote something the other day. Oh, I remember now. A couple of weeks ago, he went on about the needle. I am not properly vaccinated because the needle is not long enough. It didn't penetrate my arm. So that annoyed me. That irritated me. Because if it was true, it would be a big story. And I said that to him. So annoying. So then when I didn't do a couple of shows last week, he comments yesterday. He says, oh my God, I thought you had died of COVID because you're not fully vaccinated. So he's still carrying on that I'm not fully vaccinated. So I lost it. I've thought I've had enough of this guy. He's so annoying. I said to him, that's it. Thank you for listening to my podcast. I appreciate it. But I must just warn you now, I'm not responding to you ever again because there's something wrong with you and you're very annoying. And that, boom, I just left it at that. I thought to myself, yeah. Afterwards, I didn't even feel bad. I didn't even feel guilty that I did that because he is so annoying. But then what happens? He sends a comment on YouTube that was just hilarious. It was just so funny. And I don't have it in front of me, but I'll just paraphrase it. So I spoke about Oscar Pistorius yesterday. And I've misunderstood Andre DP. It turns out that he's actually being sarcastic. But his sarcasm is so extreme that it doesn't even qualify as sarcasm because he comes across as somebody who believes what he's saying, that he's not making a joke. But in this case, I thought, haha, that's funny. He said something along the lines of, okay, this sounds a bit sick and it sounds callous and it sounds cold, but it's been long enough. He went on somewhere along the lines of, Reeva Steenkamp wasn't there to protect Oscar Pistorius. There was an intruder in their apartment, and she didn't stand by her man and protect her legless boyfriend, and she ran away and she hid inside the bathroom. And I thought to myself, okay, that is obvious sarcasm. So I found that funny. So Andre DP, Divine Providence, was misunderstood. So I thought I would just reach out and acknowledge. I must acknowledge when I'm wrong. I suppose not really relevant, right? Okay, it's not, again, another thing that's not really relevant to you, but I found it interesting. Okay, so maybe anyway, okay. I'll do better next time. I'll be more relevant. Yeah. Things are happening in Eastern Europe. Oy, oy, oy. I can't remember, the Belarusians are trying to get into Poland. Thousands of people at the border. Pretty sad situation. And the word, no matter, even if my facts aren't 100% about who's at what border, but just generally, it doesn't matter because just generally speaking, and this goes for people at the Mexican border in America. It goes for Zimbabweans coming into South Africa. Where's our empathy as human beings? We got to have empathy, man. I mean, if you look back at World War II, Jews arriving in ships at certain places, and the ships were turned back to go back to Germany, and those people were murdered in the genocide, in the Holocaust. And, it's things like that. And the world, I mean, we keep on saying, oh, we must remember the past, we mustn't repeat history, but we keep on repeating. There's no empathy. Come on, countries, they're getting together now, talking about climate change. While they're talking about climate change, how about some empathy changes? Some humanitarian changes? Make a plan. South Africa, we've got plenty of open spaces. Drop some people somewhere. They don't all have to be in Johannesburg, Pretoria, Cape Town, Durban. There's Nelspruit, Mbombela, I should call it. Hey? Anyway, that's my thought. I know I sound all self-righteous, and what do I know? I don't know, it's just my gut feel. Maybe I'm being impractical. But, I don't know, just think about it.